figured out what ADHD mess is, and it's not what you think. And bear with me here because I'm pretty sure it explains a lot of things. ADHD mess is a to-do list. Watch this. This is my sewing to-do list. This is my clean laundry to-do list. Why isn't it in a bag? Because if it's in a bag, I'll forget that I have to fold and put all these clothes away. These are clothes to hang up and or spot treat to-do list. This is my dirty laundry to-do list. Why is my rug out here and not just on the floor until I'm ready to wash it? Because if I don't put it by the door with the laundry detergent, I forget that I'm supposed to wash it. This is my things that are going to be repaired to-do list. This is my things to hang up to-do list. This is my general chores and things to do to-do list. Paperwork, brush my dog's teeth, another reminder for the laundry. I have to finish vacuuming, and I have to remember to water the plants. Oh, and this is something I have to go up into my loft to put away. It is messy by a lot of standards. I'm not gonna deny that. And my apartment certainly has had less mess to it. I almost said it was more organized, but the fact of the matter is this is organized. This is an organizational system. It's just not nearly as pretty, just like on the offset to most people. But also what I realized is that when you think of these piles sort of as to-do lists, it actually explains so much more. Like why we often get paralyzed when our apartment is not pristine and why it's harder for us to do stuff when it's not pristine, like paradoxically. It's not just because, oh, the mess itself paralyzes me. It's not just because I look at a mess and I'm like, oh, I have to clean it up. It's because when I look at a mess, I actually see a bunch of to-do lists, and the to-do lists aren't just put things away. That's just like another example of, executive dysfunction and how we break up a simple chore into a bunch of tiny little tasks. And I think on top of that anxiety, where organizing and cleaning for us isn't just organizing and cleaning, it's also just a bunch of to-do lists we've left out for ourselves to remind ourselves. I think there's an even additional layer of anxiety where I'm afraid that if I put it out of sight, out of mind, I will never get to that to-do list. I will never actually do that thing that I've told myself I have to do. So for example, if I just clear off this table and put all of these things out of sight, yes, it'll take me less than 5 minutes and it's very easy to do. Everything has a place for the most part, but I'm worried, I'm stressed because a lot of this paperwork is really important and I have to do it, and it involves calls I have to make, things I have to fix, all this kind of stuff. If I put away my vacuum, I'll forget to vacuum, and then, midweek I'll start getting stressed. If I put this away, I'm gonna forget to water my plants. Not that, leaving this watering can out actually ensures I remember to water my plants, but if I don't leave it out, I sure as hell don't remember to water my plants. I have a Roomba, but as soon as I started storing it in a place that was out of the way, less obvious, because I thought it was a little bit unsightly, kind of in the middle of my studio apartment, I forgot to run it. I have a robot that will vacuum for me, and I forget to run it. Although don't get me started on how running a Roomba isn't just running a Roomba, especially if you own a dog. First, you gotta pick up all the little toys and all the little items, and then you gotta pick up all your little wires. It's more than just pressing a button, okay? I think this also explains my successes. So I, like so many, people with ADHD, will have periods where a new method works, and of course we get bored of it and it stops working, whatever. So I understand that I have to switch up methods to kind of stay on top of stuff constantly. Routine doesn't work for us in the same way it does for neurotypical people. But I think this also explains the methods that have worked best for me. And that is that my best and most anxious-free kind of tidying up and organizational phases have occurred when I have basically not just put stuff away, but mentally taken projects off my to-do list. Because that clears away the anxiety and the fear of, well, if I put it away, I'll forget to do this, and then I won't do this thing that I am fully intending to do. Now, obviously this doesn't work for everything, but what has worked for me at certain points is I've let myself off the hook for certain big projects. it is tough, but I'll have sort of a chat with myself and be like, okay, honestly speaking, am I going to feel better if I just let go of this project, or if I finally get around to doing it, after just putting it off for months? Am I now doing it out of obligation to finish it, or because it will truly make like bring me joy. What has also worked at different points is devising like a sort of alternative to-do list system for the big projects. So for a while, I had a couple of whiteboards kind of stashed behind these mirrors, which I plan to one day set up again. And for a while, those were great because I was able to basically set aside, put away big projects and just write them on these whiteboards. And so mentally, I could let myself off the hook of like leaving it out as a visual reminder. I kind of told myself like, okay, there's this one master list of like little DIY and at-home projects I want, here. And I'm not going to completely forget them. If I'm ready to work on something, I can open this up. I mean, don't get me started on forgetting the fact that I have a list. That's a whole other issue I haven't